7-game series where both teams are very much alive. It's the World Series on Fox. Last night, baseball was like it ought to be. Torrey and Cox matched each other move by move in a classic game of chess. It looked like the Yankee skipper lost in his Kenny Rogers gamble, but it was Bobby who rolled snake eyes, and to everyone's surprise, unlikely hero Leyritz struck lightning as the Road Warriors set Atlanta on fire. Tonight, Pettit plays for redemption, but in his way stands Smokin' Smokes. Now it's New York and Atlanta all even in Game 5 of the World Series on Fox.
In 1965, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium opened its doors. In 1966, Braves' Joe Torre christened this yard with its first home run. The launching pad's most famous moment came in April of '74.
Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time. And it's Henry Aaron.
But this yard's latest, greatest moment came last October. David Justice gave the city of Atlanta its first sports championship with that home run as the Braves beat the Cleveland Indians. From the old to the new, Olympic Stadium up above will greet the Braves next year. Tonight, for the final time, the Atlanta Braves will play here at the Chop Shop, and what a ball game they will have as the New York Yankees invade this hostile house to take on the Atlanta Braves in critical Game 5 of the 1996 World Series. Hello again, everybody. Along with Dave Winfield and Steve Lyons, I'm Chip Carey. Welcome to Fox Sports coverage of the 1996 World Series. What a ball game last night. New York won it 8-6 in 10 innings. Simply put, it was the greatest postseason comeback in Yankees history. What a game for the Bronx Bombers. Bobby Cox said in the papers today, hey, we blew this ball game. To put it simply, what in the world happened, David?
In my opinion, it's been the little things, the execution or lack thereof. In a nutshell, I think the Yankees have basically out-hustled and outplayed and basically beaten the Braves the last couple of games. I mean, it's the little things. When I say that, recall the ball that dropped between three Braves down the right field line, the misplayed ball by Jermaine Dye in right field, the bobble balls at shortstop by Belliard and by Blauser. All these things really opened the door for the Yankees to walk through, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, those are some great keys to the way the game was won, but I had some questions about last night's ball game, as a lot of us did. Number one, you bring Wohlers in to throw 2 innings instead of his customary 1. Now, Wohlers has only gone 2 innings 1 time all year, and what happened that time? Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, and blew the save. The other thing is intentionally walking Bernie Williams to load the bases. Now, I feel it's very difficult for a guy to intentionally walk a guy, then come back and throw strikes to the next hitter, and there's no place to put Boggs. Here he is, taking as he usually does. Avery gets him to go 1 and 2, then a nasty slider, another nasty slider. Anybody else in baseball swings at one of those pitches. Wade Boggs spits on it, he ends up walking, and they get the run out of that. Wade Boggs is the best 2-strike hitter I've ever seen play baseball, and if he's got the best eye in baseball too, so he's going to go up there and get you either a hit or a walk.
Well, it's obvious Bobby Cox liked the lefty-lefty matchup. Boggs hits left-handers 60 points worse than right-handers. It's a move that even Joe Torre and Don Zimmer agree with, a move that Bobby Cox has used before. 3 times he got 3 double plays out of it. It didn't work last night. Simply put, the story of this series has been the difference in the bullpens. The Yankees' pen has been awesome. Atlanta's bullpen has struggled. 0-2, a .318 earned run average. Case in point last night. Mark Wohlers up and warming in the 7th inning. Mike Pilecki gave the Braves 2 great innings of work. He was out of gas. Brad Klotz, a young, inexperienced reliever, warming. Mark Wohlers got the call, came in, and you all know what happened in the 9th inning of that ball game. Bobby Cox, second guessed on the move, but still feels confident about it even today.
There's absolutely no reason not to use him in the 8th inning last night. I mean, you're only looking for 6 outs and complete rest. And as a matter of fact, I knew going in we were going to use him in the 8th tonight, and he would be able to pitch tonight in it. He's strong, and you know, if he racked up a ton of pitches, then he wouldn't probably. But you know, funny things happened to him last night. He was airing it out. He wasn't holding anything back, and it's really ridiculous for anybody to second guess that move.
Now it's obvious Bobby Cox ran out of guys in whose arms he had confidence in. And the question the Braves have to ask themselves now is, what is next for Game 5, Game 6 and 7 up in New York?
Well, to me, yesterday was the hump day for the Yankees. If they could get by with their least effective starter, they were going to be in pretty good shape. I mean, Ray Charles could see if the Yanks didn't win that game, it was over. So I recall back in 1981, we had a 2-game lead over the Dodgers. We went to L.A. Momentum shifted. These things can happen. Momentum is fleeting. Can the Yankees continue their rise, or can they continue their surge? I don't know, because I think John Smoltz is going to win it tonight, and I think maybe Atlanta in 7.
Hey, you know, this is a team, this Yankee ball club is truly a team that represents the city they play in. A bunch of tough customers that are never going to quit on you. Having said that, I think it's Braves in 6. They repeat as the national champions here. Bottom line is, the Yankee bullpen has been brilliant, but they've been overused, and you can never count on those Yankee starters. 2 words for you: Smoltz, Maddox. It's been a lot of fun. Lights out in New York.
Yeah, that's going to happen. The Braves had better get Game 5 here tonight. Andy Pettitte gets the ball. Game 1, he was rocked. 7 runs, only 7 outs. Joe Torre and the Yankees expect more. Well, the Braves know what they expect from John Smoltz. 4-0 this postseason, 9-1 lifetime. He's pitching the most important game of the year for the Braves. It's the Yankees and Atlanta. Game 5 from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. We'll continue our setup as we continue here on Fox right after this. Welcome back to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium for Game 5 of the 1996 World Series. Let's join Atlanta Public Address announcer Marshall Mann.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of our national anthem, which tonight will be performed by multi-platinum East-West recording artists in Vogue.
Oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light, and the dawn's early proudly we hailed, at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Over the ramparts we walked, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ringing, the bombs bursting in air through the night. That flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, if Game 5 is as exciting as Game 4, it'll be a perfect way to close out the great history here at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. We're set to go for Game 5 of the World Series, and set to go with the call is our trio of Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Bob Brunley. Hello, guys.
That was terrific. Getting ready for Game 5 after a very long Game 4. A fun night here last night at Fulton County Stadium with Bob Brunley and Tim McCarver. 4 hours, 17 minutes, but it was well worth it. And tonight, it is Game 5. Look back at last night's game. It was an interesting game as it unfolded late. And no bigger swing of the bat in this postseason, and one of the biggest ever by Jim Leyritz. That game-tying 3-run home run in the 8th inning.
And Joe, it kept the yes and yesterday as far as the Yankees were concerned. And you may remember during that at-bat, we thought that Mark Wohlers should stay away from the slider because he was throwing the fastball. And and the slider 86 miles per hour. So what we thought we would do is take 3 pitches out of that 6-pitch sequence and show you what we were talking about, a slider speed bat. This was a fastball on the first pitch. Now look at Jim Leyritz. He makes contact back in the box. That was the first pitch. Now on the 5th pitch, he makes contact farther out. That was a slider that he fouled off. And on the 6th pitch, the 3-run homer up in the zone, but look how much farther out in front the bat head is. Bingo for the New York Yankees. So what Mark Wohlers did, in effect, he did something that Jim Leyritz couldn't do. He sped up the bat head.
And I think it's interesting, it's been talked about already on our pregame show, that Mark Wohlers would come in the 8th inning, and maybe that points out kind of the underbelly and the soft spot in the underbelly for the Atlanta Braves. Bobby Cox going to Mark Wohlers, and the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves the last 2 games has not been good.
Well, for the Yankees, this series has been a lot like a heavyweight fight. You know, jab and circle, jab and circle. They're looking for that weakness in a seemingly invincible opponent. The last 2 games, they have found that weakness. The Braves bullpen, the numbers are not pretty. Specifically, the 8 walks. 2 of those came in the 9th inning of Game 3. 3 of them came in the 10th inning last night. On the positive note for the Braves, Bobby Cox sending John Smoltz to the mound. He's been a horse this year. 7 1/3 innings average per start. Bobby Cox might not have to use that bullpen tonight.
Really, each bullpen could use a night off in Game 5. We get ready and we ask the question, how will the Braves say goodbye to Fulton County Stadium? We're about to find out in Game 5 after this from your local Fox station.
Sunday.
Well, the series is tied 2 games apiece, and this is Game 5 of the 1996 World Series. About a look at the Yankees starting lineup. Derek Jeter will lead it off at short, then Charlie Hayes batting second at third base. Bernie Williams hitting third and center. Cecil Fielder cleaning up. Then Darryl Strawberry left. Paul O'Neill in right. Mariano Duncan at second. Jim Leyritz, the game-tying 3-run home run in the 8th inning here last night in Game 4. Pitching and batting ninth, the left-hander Andy Pettitte. A look at the Braves defense, highlighting Chipper Jones. 14 errors in 132 games this season, including his work since the curtain came down on the regular season, and on the mound, 4-0 in the postseason in 1996, 9-1 in 17 postseason starts. It's John Smoltz.
Tremendous concentration level from John Smoltz. He seems to rise to the occasion in big games. Throws a fastball, throws a curve, throws a slider, throws a changeup. He's a power pitcher with control.
As a matter of fact, at the press conference yesterday, one of the writers asked John Smoltz what he was thinking about yesterday and what he would be thinking about today. And he said, nothing. He said, I've already thought about it, which is a great point.
John Smoltz is on the mound. He could end up with 30 wins this season if he can win here tonight. He won 24 games during the regular season. He could win his 5th in the postseason. He won the All-Star game in the start he made in Philadelphia.
You see the second bullet point, great moving high fastball. He'll get a lot of strikeouts on high fastballs. He'll get a lot of fly balls with the high fastball. Unlike Maddox, unlike Glavine, who throw a lot of ground balls, Smoltz is more of a fly ball strikeout pitcher.
Well, the Atlanta Braves asked John Smoltz to stop the bleeding. Losing Game 3 here in Atlanta, 5-2, as David Cone pitched so well and beat Tom Glavine. Last night, Game 4, blowing a 6-0 lead, losing 8-6 in 10 innings. This crowd is ready for the Braves to make their final appearance at Fulton County Stadium before heading across the street next season. We're glad you're with us for Game 5. Derek Jeter leads it off. He did not go around, says the first base umpire. Man, and instead of strike one, it's ball one. I mean, it's not even close.
Not even close. Not even close.
Maybe tough to see with all the flash bulbs popping around the ballpark on the first 2 pitches. 2-0. 21 postseason hits for Derek, a rookie record which surpasses what Chipper Jones did last season. Right through it, 2-1. Pitching on 3 days rest, John Smoltz. Last time August 11th. He was a winner. For so many different rotations, it might be something out of the ordinary to pitch on 3 days rest, but for the Braves, with all the work they get, all the throwing on the side, and at times going on 3 days rest, no big deal. 3-1 on Jeter, leading off. Charlie Hayes waiting on deck, then Bernie Williams. Behind home plate, it's Larry Young with Jerry Davis, Jim Evans, Terry Tata on the bases, Tim Welke down the left field line, and Steve Ripley down the right field foul line. 3-2 to Jeter. One away.
Talking about the John Smoltz high fastball. We see it already. The first batter of the game starts him out with a high fastball. Goes away with a fastball. Down to 2. Ends up striking him out with a fastball up around the belt. Right on by.
High rider.
Now Charlie Hayes batting second tonight. Right through it again. Strike one. Hayes last night broke through. He had 3 hits and a walk after coming into last night's game 0 for 6 in the series. Strike 2.
You can see already the difference between John Smoltz and Maddox and Glavine. Smoltz has no movement on that fastball other than from his hand to the catcher's mitt. It's straight as a string, but it's got a lot of heat on it.
Just missed 1 and 2.
Just outside to Charlie Hayes. If you're going to miss 0 and 2, it's best to miss outside than over the plate.
Now 1 and 2 on Hayes. 2 and 2. Well, 3 days rest, and Smoltz has already been able to hit mid-90s on our radar gun. He took care of Jeter, and he's 2 and 2 on Charlie Hayes.
And all fastballs to this point of the ball game.
Splitting hairs on the outside corner. Right there. Remember, working both sides of the plate, in my opinion, a much more effective way of getting hitters out than strictly keeping the ball down. We've made that point several times during the series. It still applies.
Here comes Bernie Williams, who is only 2 out of 16 in this World Series, still hitting over 300 after a huge ALCS and Division Series. Strike 1 from Smoltz. Bernie had his big night here in Game 3. An RBI single, reached on an error, flied one to the wall, and hit a 2-run home run. Trying to get something started, maybe get a lead for Andy Pettit, who waits to work in the bottom of the first. 1-1 from Smoltz.
Bobby Cox saying today that if he had to do it all over again, to intentionally walk Bernie Williams in the 10th inning to get to Wade Boggs with Steve Avery pitching and 2 outs, he'd do it.
Back-to-back strikeouts to start for Smoltz. Just high, and it's 2-1. Even the pitches that are missing from Smoltz are barely missing. Seems at the start to be able to put the ball where he wants.
They're not really trying to trick anybody up to this point. You know, as a catcher, if you see a pitcher on the mound throwing this kind of fastball, why waste it with a breaking pitch?
Williams late on that cut, 2-2.
Why speed up the bat?
Why speed up that bat? Absolutely. Sometimes you can sense it as a catcher. The guy's just got tremendous stuff. Let's just go with the #1 until you feel he's starting to lose a little bit.
Smoltz trying to strike out the side here in the first inning. Seen this throughout the series. Yankee hitters calling time and getting out of the batter's box. 2-2. Bernie Williams trying to extend the first half inning for Cecil Fielder. Tino Martinez not in the lineup tonight for the Yankees, despite the right-hander on the mound for Atlanta. Got all three. And on the first breaking ball of the first inning, Smoltz rings up all three. A half inning, game 5, no score. For Jones hitting third at third. Then it's Fred McGriff. What a series he is having, hitting .429. Javi Lopez catching with Andrew Jones in left. Jermaine Dye in right. Jeff Blauser at short. John Smoltz pitching and batting ninth. The Yankee defense, Fielder at first instead of Martinez and Lerich behind the plate. Started 31 of Pettit's 39 starts this season. He has become Andy Pettit's catcher, the left-hander, a 21-game winner during the regular season, his second World Series start.
Andy Pettitte will give up base hits and he will walk guys. He'll find himself pitching out of jams a lot, but he's been able to do it throughout the season, although he wasn't able to do it in game 1.
The winningest pitcher in the American League facing the winningest pitcher in the National League.
A rematch of game 1 of this series back at Yankee Stadium when Pettitte did not fare well at all. 2 1/3 innings, 7 runs on 6 hits. Grissom looked at ball 1. Marquise Grissom has hit safely in his first 10 World Series games. 8 out of 19 this go around. Good breaking ball, strike 2.
All 6 against Cleveland last year and all 4 this year.
Bobby Cox already into it with a home plate umpire, Larry Young. 1-2 on Grissom. 1 away.
Downward movement on that curveball. You saw that, as a matter of fact, on the strikeout to Marquise Grissom. Uses cutter to right-handers, especially in on the hands, and that is the key. Not to throw that cutter out over the plate, but to keep it inside the right-handers. You see that pitch he just made? That's the one pitch that Joe Torre does not want Andy Pettitte throwing. That cutter that he throws outside and comes over the middle of the plate.
Down the right field line, that'll get out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You may remember that was the pitch that Andrew Jones hit out for the first scoring of the series, the 2-run homer at Yankee Stadium. Joe Torre saying, look, I was a right-handed hitter. He didn't say it, but he was a good one, too. And when that ball comes in the middle of the plate, just sails in there, that ball is hittable, so stay away from it.
1-1 to Lemke, that's foul, strike 2.
It's funny because I talked to Jim Lerich during the division series about Andy Pettitte, and he said if Pettitte has his good cutter and is able to spot it, he likes to use that pitch. The one that starts off the outside corner and tries to backdoor right-handed hitters. But I agree, that's a very, very dangerous pitch. Very little margin for error.
Lemke a good rip on a pitch that was up, and the count stays 1-2.
You might also recall in game 1, Pettitte pitched almost exclusively inside in his short stint. Very few pitches on the outside part of the plate, and the Braves hitters made adjustments very quickly.
2 out, and a big hook from Andy Pettitte, and back-to-back strikeouts for Pettitte here in the first inning.
Well, Pettitte has thrown more curveballs in this game than he did in all of game 1. 2 fastballs there, a big hook that Lemke pulls foul, another hook that stays up. Good one down low in the zone right there.
Boy, that was a yanker similar to the one he struck Grissom out on.
We've seen 5 hitters. We've had 5 strikeouts. Now Chipper Jones flies to right. And a quick and easy first inning for each starter here in Game 5. After one in Atlanta, Yankees and Braves, no score. Schmaltz looked absolutely unhittable in the first inning. Wow.
The president of the Dennis Rodman fan club right there.
Yeah.
Talk about taking it to an extreme. John Schmaltz did with 3 strikeouts in the first inning. He went right through the Yankees, and now Cecil Fielder looks at a ball low from Schmaltz. Will be Fielder, Strawberry, and O'Neill. Cecil has had a very good World Series. Has worked his way into this lineup no matter who is on the mound for the opposition. Made the starts against the left-handed pitchers Glavine and Nagel. But because of the struggles of Tino Martinez and the way Cecil's swinging the bat, here he is making the start against Schmaltz. 2-0 the count. Pretty good swing, 2-1.
Well, Joe Torre, a manager that's not afraid to play his hunches. You know, he's really opened himself up for some second guessing by not starting Boggs at third base and Martinez at first base, the 2 left-handed hitters. But this man knows his ball club a lot better than the second guessers do. He's going with the hot hands.
2 balls and a strike. To the left side and through. Off the glove of Chipper Jones, a leadoff hit. Fielder 6 out of 16 in this World Series.
Cecil is picking it up a bit. I'll tell you, on that ball down in the zone, he is supporting a lot of little fielders and supporting them very well. You cannot test Cecil Fielder on a ball from the thighs down.
So Fielder aboard to start the inning in the infield with that drastic shift to the right side for Strawberry. And a strike over the outside corner. 3 out of 11 with 1 RBI in this World Series so far. 1-1.
Joe Torre telling Darryl Strawberry, if they shift on you again, try to bunt again. You may remember that Darryl Strawberry trying to bunt off Terrell Wade last night. He fouled it off.
Leadoff man is on. Out in front, strike 2. You can forget the bunt now.
Yeah. Good splitter from Schmaltz.
The thing about Strawberry already in this series, he has not been afraid to go the other way. Inside corner, 1 away.
Strawberry likes the ball down and in, but this pitch is up around the belt. You can see he gives with it. Schmaltz gets the inside corner for the called strike 3. Maybe gets a little more than the inside corner.
It's interesting night to night, not only between the American League umpires as opposed to National League umpires, but just umpire to umpire to figure out what the strike zone will be in the first inning. Schmaltz is trying to find it, doing a good job. He struck out 4 in the 4 outs he's picked up.
Well, that strike zone is a very subjective thing. It'll change from umpire to umpire, not only from league to league, but from individual umpires within the league. Larry Young behind home plate tonight has the reputation of being a little bit inconsistent around the strike zone.
Strike 2 from Schmaltz.
By that I mean he may call one pitch a strike, and the next pitch may be in the same location and it will be a ball, and that's the kind of thing that drives hitters crazy.
Schmaltz looking for his 5th strikeout. Have to wait another pitch. O'Neill only 1 hit in this series and hitting just a .182 in the 1996 postseason. Pinch hit here last night and struck out in that 3-run 6th inning for New York.
Splitter.
To the right side. Lemke lays back. They get the lead runner, and that's it. So the force out 4-6 off the bat of O'Neill. 1 on, 2 out with Duncan coming up.
You could see John Smoltz shaking off the high fastball from Javier Lopez. And then he went with a splitter. And O'Neill hammers it in the ground. Not hit hard enough to get 2.
So Fielder back to the dugout. O'Neill will run the bases. 2 out. O'Neill has that bad hamstring, bad left hamstring. Here's Mariano Duncan. He looks at a ball from Smoltz. .340 during the regular season for Duncan, but only 1 hit in this World Series. He started every game. He takes ball 2. It's 2-0. Dwight Gooden in a familiar position during the postseason on that dugout bench. Just watching. To Blauser. High hop. Inning over. No runs, a hit. 1 man left. An inning and a half complete in Atlanta. Game 5, no score.
Baseball's World Series is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. By the new Lexus ES300. The road is calling. Answer it. By HBO. It's not TV. It's HBO. And by Sun America, the retirement savings specialist.
Atlanta Braves next year will be moving from there to their new facility named Ted Turner Stadium. That'll be next year. A lot of people think it should be Henry Aaron Stadium.
It'll be on Henry Aaron Way. Street named out in front of the ballpark. The house where Hank Aaron hit that historic home run April 8th, 1974. Place that has become home to postseason baseball really since 1991. Here's McGriff. What a World Series Fred is putting together. Took a strike, now a ball, 1-1. It'll be McGriff, Lopez, and Andrew Jones for the Braves in the second against Andy Pettitte. Out in front, he went around, and it's a 1-2 count.
Another big breaking ball from Andy Pettitte. He certainly learned his lesson in game 1. Changing speeds, using the big breaking ball tonight, spotting that cut fastball when he gets ahead in the count.
Pettitte looking for his 3rd strikeout of the night. He found it. 1 away. So 4 outs picked up by Pettitte, 3 on the strikeout.
It's pretty clear that the Braves are facing a different Andy Pettitte tonight. He has late break on his breaking balls. As a matter of fact, we mentioned in the first inning, he seems to be going to that pitch a lot more often. He may do it the first time through the lineup and resort more to the cutter in the middle innings.
Javi Lopez grounds to second on the first pitch. 2 up, 2 down for Atlanta here in the second. So Javi Lopez struggling a bit, now 3 out of 15 after hitting .542 in the NLCS.
Well, as is the case with a lot of good pitchers, you have to get Andy Pettitte early. In innings 1 through 3 this season, his ERA was .574. 4, 5, and 6, the ERA dropped down to .299, and in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, his ERA was .208. You're going to get him early.
Here's a guy who got him early. Andrew Jones back in game 1. The 2-home run night for Andrew Jones. He hit his first off Pettitte. Now the first base umpire rings up Andrew Jones, and this crowd already upset with the umpiring in game 5.
That was because the first pitch of the ball game, Derek Jeter went around clearly, and And now Andrew Jones goes around. Good call. Bobby Cox not arguing that call.
He went again in the count 0-2.
This is something we have not seen from Andrew Jones throughout this series. We talked about it in game 2 and 3, how he seems to get good cuts every at bat. We hadn't seen him check his swing, but already in this first at bat, 2 check swings.
It could be an indication of how deceptive Andy Pettit's breaking ball is.
2 out, nobody on, and it wasn't very deceptive. 1-2.
Well, that's exactly where he wanted to throw that. Maybe not exactly where he wanted to throw it, but you could see Leyritz, after he gave the sign, put the palm of his glove down towards the ground. Keep it down, keep it down. You can see his glove almost on the ground there. Hope to get Jones to chase a bad pitch.
Again, 2-2.
Jim Leyritz needed a shovel to field those last 2 balls.
There'll be plenty of them around here in not too long.
Ball's under the plate.
Nice block.
2 out, nobody on here in the second inning for Atlanta. And from 0-2 to 3-2. Jermaine Dye waits on deck. Say this for Bobby Cox. He is not one to tinker with his lineup and not one to react from game to game. Staying with the 2 rookies back-to-back in the lineup. And Andrew Jones draws a 2-out walk. Little shake of the head from Joe Torre as Pettit let Andrew Jones get away after getting out in front 0-2.
Now the fun starts at first base. Andrew Jones with 89 stolen bases the last 2 years in the minor leagues. Andy Pettit with the best move in the major leagues, the best pickoff move to first base.
11 pickoffs this year.
Had a very big lead by Jones, actually going back to the bag with the pitch. And it's strike 1 on Jermaine Dye.
You're not really sure if Andrew Jones had a good read there or not, because he was going back on the move before as well. He's looking to home. He's going to throw to first.
1 on, 2 out after the walk. Now Jones running. The pitch is a strike, and Andrew Jones steals his first bag in the postseason.
I think what Andrew Jones, a very intelligent young player, did, he realized that Andy Pettit's right foot went behind the left leg. When the right foot goes behind the left leg for a left-handed pitcher, he is committed to go home. Jones picked up on it and stole second base.
So a base hit could put Atlanta out in front. It's an 0-2 count on Jermaine Dye. To the shortstop, Jeter. Second inning over. No score after 2 in Game 5. Back to Fulton County Stadium after this from your local Fox station. Stand in to lead off the third inning. Last night, Game 4, 2 on, 1 out. The high-hanging slider from Wohlers, and Leyritz knew what to do with it. The 3-run home run that tied the game at 6 in the 8th inning. A game the Yankees won 8-6 in 10 innings. One of the biggest swings of a bat in World Series history.
Yeah, and if the Yankees go on to win this series, it'll be known as the at-bat to New Yorkers.
Strike 1 from Smoltz, who has allowed 1 hit. Barely missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good pitch. Smoltz has struck out 4, allowed no runs on a hit. Little high. Every ball that's been put in play so far, a little different for Smoltz. It's been put in play on the ground. Normally a fly ball strikeout pitcher. 2-1. Outside corner, 2-2.
After not getting the call on the inside corner, goes on the other side of the plate and does get the call.
2-2. It's out of play.
You know, Lawrence is really an opposite field hitter. He pulled the ball the home run last night, but it was because it was an off-speed pitch up in the strike zone. His power and most of his base hits are to right field.
Leading it off in the third inning. Just down and in. And a 3-2 count with Pettit on deck.
Who has never batted in the major leagues.
One away.
Larry Young called that pitch earlier in the count. This ball right there. Nothing liberal about that call, strike 3, in my opinion.
5 strikeouts already for Smoltz.
A lot of times a catcher will catch that ball actually about 3 inches off the plate, but it hit the front corner.
Here's Andy Pettit. First career plate appearance facing John Smoltz. 0-2. How do you like his chances?
Well, I don't know. We didn't give Graham Lloyd much of a chance last night, but he went up there and took his hacks.
Heck, the first Yankee hit last night was by Kenny Rogers. Ain't gonna happen tonight. Pettit quick and easy, and 6 strikeouts for Smoltz. Tomorrow morning, start your day at 9 a.m. with Fox After Breakfast. Join host Tom Bergeron and Laurie Hibbert. Special guest James Brown, Whoopi Goldberg, and the cast of The Associate live right here on Fox tomorrow morning. 2 out, nobody on. Here's the leadoff hitter, Derek Jeter. Off the inside corner for ball 1.
JB probably going on talking about that Miami Dolphin and Dallas Cowboy game on Sunday.
If it's that JB, I'm kind of thinking it may be the other.
Oh.
The godfather of soul?
Well, either one of them could talk about the game on Sunday. Might have a different take on it.
But only one of them's got a brand new bag.
1 ball, 1 strike on Derek Jeter. It's the singer James Brown. That's a line drive.
Snow cone.
I feel good. Chipper Jones makes the catch. And the Yankees go in order in the 3rd. Hello. Bottom of the 3rd inning, game 5. No score. Jones is lucky to have all his teeth after that line drive off the bat of Derek Jeter.
Well, Jeter has been inside outing a lot of pitches in this series, trying to hit the ball to the opposite field, but this time gets a fastball down and in and turns it around. A wake-up call for Chipper Jones.
Now Bowser hits one into deep right. Not deep enough, 1 away. Bowser is 2 out of 13 in the World Series. Here's Smoltz. 17 out of 78 at the plate during the regular season with a home run and 12 RBIs. Big total for a pitcher in the postseason. Has 2 hits in 9 at-bats. And a strike from Andy Pettit. Much better for Pettit tonight. A 2-out walk, a stolen base allowed last inning. So far, no runs, no hits, and 3 strikeouts. Two and 1. Grissom will be next. Chasing a pitch on 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was a showcase swing right there by John Smoltz. He's a very good athlete, a good eye at the plate. He runs very well. Got the count in his favor and tried to let one go.
Now a good swing with 2 strikes to stay alive. It's still 2-2. Smoltz struck out Pettit in the top of the inning. Now Smoltz lines to right. Yankees had him played perfectly. 2 out. Probably the hardest hit ball by any Brave hitter so far. 2 out here in the 3rd inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent. Glad to have you with us for Game 5 here in Atlanta. Final game at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Here's Grissom. He struck out his first time. This ballpark was quickly put together in 1965 before the baseball season. At that time, the city of Atlanta thought the Braves were coming from Milwaukee in '65. They didn't get here until 1966. And this is the 31st year of baseball here at Fulton County Stadium. The Crackers played here for 1 season. '62, Tim McCarver played here.
Old Ponce de Leon Park. Marquise Grissom taking ball 4 off Andy Pettit. It'll be an interesting matchup here with Grissom with all that great speed and Pettit with that terrific move to first base. We'll see if Lemke gives Grissom a chance to steal the base by taking a pitch or 2.
Lemke was swinging early in his first at bat with the bases empty. Mark Lemke has a 13-game hitting streak during the postseason alive. Trying to make it 14. A check on Grissom as Pettit just reminds Marquise that he has a good pickoff move and be careful.
Well, the 4-ball walk to Grissom, really the first sign of Pettit showing any loss of control in this game. Missed with 2 breaking balls up high, 2 fastballs up high. Grissom on first base.
1 on, 2 out here in the 3rd inning. And a good fastball from Pettit for strike 1 to Lemke.
A lot of times a fast base runner against a pitcher with a real good move like Andy Pettit, you will just guess. You'll go on the first move, particularly if the first baseman is a right-hander who has to wheel around to make that throw to second base.
Cecil Fielder has already made 1 good throw in this series while playing first base. He is by no means a liability when he plays in the field. Strike 2 on Lemke.
Well, that position at first really built for a left-handed thrower. Because when he fields the ball and goes to second base, it's a much more natural throw to go to second. A right-hander has a lot more to do. Get inside the line, move the feet around, make the perfect throw.
One advantage Fielder has is his size. He's so big. Almost look over the runner's head. Grissom draws a throw, and he may have been leading there.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move inside the line. He's already there.
Nothing in 2. The count on Lemke after the walk on 4 straight to Grissom. Late break. Ball 1 as Larich thought it was strike 3.
Well, see, catchers are trained with 2 strikes to try to get the strike. That's why Larich didn't shoot out of there. If he gets the strike, the inning's over. Larich, I think, thought the ball was a strike. Grissom steals second, uncontested. Pitch could have been a strike. Remember, it's not where the catcher catches it. It's where it goes over the plate. Larich could have taken the pitch away by getting up.
Now a base hit could put Atlanta on top. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. A late call. That brings Bobby Cox out of the dugout.
That pitch was lower than the 0-2 curveball.
Andy Pettit will take it. Bobby Cox can't believe it. No score after 3.
Baseball's World Series is brought to you by Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride.
Tonight's overhead shots courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls is Captain Larry Chambers from Lighthouse Point, Florida. Bobby Cox, after strike 3 was called on Lemke, and here's another look. Actually came out of the dugout.
Well, when the catcher's glove goes in the dirt to catch the pitch, I think you got a pretty good reason to beef.
Smoltz back to work, and he delivers strike 1 to Charlie Hayes.
Unless it was the greatest curveball in the history of the game.
Hayes hitting .250 in the World Series. That's well hit into right center field. Grissom back to get it. Drops it. Hayes will end up at second base as the ball falls in right center.
I think Jermaine Dye shielded Marquise Grissom. And I don't think Grissom had a full view of the ball. Watch how Dye cuts in front of Grissom. And he's tall. Jermaine Dye is 6'4". I don't think Grissom had a legitimate shot at that ball. I think he lost it because of Dye. Says I got it, and now he looks at Dye and lost it.
It's amazing that Marquise Grissom committed only 1 error during the regular season. He has committed 3 in the postseason in 1996. It's an error on Grissom. Pickoff play back at second, and Hayes back without a throw. You know, you think back on last night's game, the ball that rolled up the arm of Rafael Belliard that should have been or could have been a double play, where the Braves got only 1 out. That immediately preceded the home run hit by Leyritz. So instead of a 2-run home run, it was a game-tying 3-run home run. Little things adding up, and defense a big part of the Atlanta Braves' problems. They have now committed 11 errors in the postseason, as opposed to the Yankees 6. Runner at second, nobody out, and it's 2-0 on Bernie Williams. Charlie Hayes at second, reaching on the error. Well hit, but it should have been caught in right center. And now Bernie Williams a chance to put the Yankees out in front here in the 4th. 3-0.
We talked about it the other night. There's Jermaine Dye, the right fielder. This was last night. First base, or should say right field umpire Tim Welke getting in the way of Jermaine Dye. That opened up things for 3 runs in the 6th inning. What's Welke doing on that ball?
Just another little thing that led to trouble for Atlanta. Ground ball to the right side on 3-0. Williams advances the runner. Hayes to third with 1 out. And Williams 0 for 2.
Nice job by Bernie Williams to advance Charlie Hayes to third base with a solid ground ball to the right side. You hope it gets through for a base hit to score the run, but at worst, you advance that runner 90 feet closer to home plate.
So Williams gets Hayes to third, and now a brief meeting on the mound with Cecil Fielder at the plate. The Braves bring the infield in. Runner at third, 1 out, no score, 4th inning.
This has got to be a patient at bat for Cecil Fielder. Remember, he is vulnerable to the high fastball. He struck out 117 times this year.
Ball 1 from Smoltz. I think it'd be fair to say neither pitcher right now knows exactly where that strike zone is. Talked about it last inning. I'm sure after Smoltz witnessed strike 3 called on Lemke in the bottom of the 3rd, Still searching for it. Fielder down the left field line. It's fair. Up against the wall. In to score is Hayes. Down to second is Fielder. He's in with a double. And the Yankees take a 1-0 fourth inning lead.
That is Cecil Fielder's first base hit with a runner at third in less than 2 outs this season. Was 0 for 7 during the '96 regular season, but hooks one down in the corner and has to work hard to get to second base.
Well, that ball was crushed.
That ball was down just a little as Fielder hit it. And with 1 out and Cecil at second, the batter Darryl Strawberry. So an error leads directly to a run. And now Strawberry looks at a pitch up and away.
Cecil might not have been running fast, but he was running hard. He was giving it everything he had.
And there is a difference.
Fielder making it down to second base after a very poor throw from Andrew Jones in left field. Strawberry struck out his first time. 1 ball, 1 strike from Smoltz.
You can see that after the first inning, when John Smoltz threw all fastballs, he's now mixing it up using all of his pitches. His fastball is also not as explosive as it was in the first inning.
Into center field, broken bat fly ball to Grissom, 2 out. So Strawberry 0 for 2. In the series, 3 out of 13, and the inning continues for Paul O'Neill.
We brought this up the other night. A lot of the time, when you make an error is very important. For instance, if you make an error to allow a runner on with nobody out or 1 out, it's much bigger. The error is much bigger than if you were to make it with 2 out, because there are many more chances to score and to move around the bases with nobody out.
Strike 1 on O'Neill. Ball bounced into a force out his first time up. As 1 out of 8 in this World Series. Only 2 RBIs the entire postseason. While O'Neill has struggled driving in runs, Tino Martinez hasn't driven in a run. Neither is Tim Raines. Cecil Fielder has now driven in 14 season. And he's put the Yankees out in front here in the 4th inning. He's at second, 2 out. And Smoltz falls behind O'Neill, 2-1. With runners in scoring position during the regular season, O'Neill drove in 68 of his 91 runs. Runner at second, 2 out. And a 3-1 count on O'Neill. Mariano Duncan waits on deck.
Well, with the free-swinging Duncan on deck, I don't look for John Smoltz to give in to Paul O'Neill here. He got him to chase a split finger and ground to second base in his first at bat. I would guess he'd come back with the same pitch here.
Smoltz and Javier Lopez having a tough time getting together on what to throw O'Neill with a count of 3-1. Runner at second, 2 out. And ball 4 puts 2 on with 2 out. And the first walk issued by Smoltz keeps the inning alive for Mariano Duncan.
Several times during this series, we have talked about the hot zone of Mariano Duncan. You can see all the red spots. Really, you ought to increase it and go up the ladder. Then you can come inside in here. You can even go down here. Down here. I mean, you can go all over the place with Mariano Duncan. That's how big his red zone is.
2 on, 2 out. Duncan hacking away is strike 1.
Those Bible hitters, thou shalt not pass.
Not a good World Series so far for Duncan. In the World Series with his third different organization. Has just the one hit in 15 at-bats. Big spot here with 2 on, 2 out. The Yankees already out in front by 1, 4th inning. One ball, 1 strike. In our Fox box, top left-hand corner of your screen, the runners at first and second. The red dots, there they are. Fielder the lead runner with O'Neill the trailer. Yankees up by 1, 2 out in the inning. To the right side for Lemke. Inning over. An error leads directly to a run. An unearned run here in the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th. Braves back. Down by 1. Elvis enjoying it here in the 4th inning after Marquise Grissom committed his 3rd error of the postseason, which led to the unearned run in the top of this 4th inning. Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Chipper Jones leads it off, then McGriff and Lopez. Against Andy Pettit, who has yet to allow a hit. He's walked 2. 2-0.
When Marquise Grissom went in the dugout, he was uncharacteristically mad. You never see him with that kind of emotion displayed. Upset because of that error.
2-1 on Jones. When you talk about Marquise Grissom to Bobby Cox, a smile immediately was onto the face of Bobby Cox. That was Marquise's reaction after the inning. He was hot. Cox will tell you he is as tough as any player he has ever managed. To the left side, backhanded stab Hayes. 1 out for the Braves here in the 4th. 1 away. The batter will be McGriff. This week, Fox NFL Sunday talks with former co-host Jimmy Johnson as he prepares for the biggest game as coach of the Dolphins. Then it's exciting doubleheader action highlighted by the most talked about game of the season when Jimmy Johnson and the Dolphins take on his former team, the Dallas Cowboys. You won't want to miss Fox NFL Sunday this week, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Here's McGriff. Struck out his first time. Took ball 1.
Still talking about it.
Marquise talking to his roommate about that.
Housemate, right?
Jermaine Dye has been living with Marquise Grissom and his wife really for the second half of the regular season and on. Now David Justice talking to Jermaine Dye. 3-1 from Pettit on McGriff.
Well, the standard rule of thumb in baseball is that the center fielder is the captain of the outfield, and Grissom is a great center fielder. He covers a lot of ground.
A 1-out walk to McGriff. The 3rd walk issued by Pettit.
Bob, I think a lot of that too is the hang time on the ball. You know the speed of your partner, the guy to your right, and you know the hang time of the ball. You've got to determine whether it's a line drive or a fly ball, and that was a fly ball, and Grissom gets that ball easily if Dye doesn't cut in front of him.
A 1-out walk to McGriff, and the batter Javi Lopez. Just 3 out of 15 in this World Series. Jones grounded to 3rd, a walk to McGriff, and now the 1st to Lopez. Fly ball down the right field line is foul. Strike 1.
That's the fastball Joe Torre wants. The rider inside.
Did you notice right field umpire Steve Ripley getting out of the way as that ball was hooking down the first base line, as opposed to the roadblock Tim Welke put on Jermaine Dye last night.
50th pitch of the night coming up for Pettit. And it's strike 2 on Lopez. A 1-out walk to McGriff and 0-2 count on Javi Lopez. To the right side, might be. Got them both. 4-6-3 to end the 4th. Pettit gets around the walk. We go to the 5th. Game 5. 1-0 New York. In game number 5 of the 1996 World Series, with the Yankees out in front on an unearned run, 1-0. Coming up in the 9th inning, Tim, Bob, and I will award today's Chevrolet Player of the Game. Here is last night's Chevrolet Player of the Game. It's Jim Leyritz. Struck out his first time, struck out looking. It'll be Leyritz, Pettit, and Jeter for the Yankees in the 5th. Dye going to get it, dealing with a bullpen, and out of his reach for strike 1. In their final game at Fulton County Stadium, and while they thought they might be wrapping up the 1996 World Series, this game, after the last 2 games, very important to the Braves before this series heads back to Yankee Stadium. 0-2 the count. Leyritz stays alive.
The Yankees 7-0 on the road in this postseason, and that is just remarkable. By the way, that's their longest road winning streak of the year, even regular season.
It's the 3rd longest streak in postseason history, the 7 in a row. Leyritz steps out. Up to 67 pitches for Smoltz. All those strikeouts will add a lot of pitches to your night's work. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smoltz led the majors with 276 strikeouts during the regular season. Won 24 games before this year, had never won more than 15.
And when he was traded to the Atlanta Braves back in 1987, he was 4-10 at Glens Falls, New York.
1-2 the count. Just outside, 2-2.
That looked like the same pitch that Jim Leyritz was called out on his first time up.
That says it all. 2-2 the count. Leyritz at the plate, now 3-2.
Oh, Smoltz has dropped down sidearm. 3 pitches this at bat to Leyritz. 2 fastballs earlier in the count. Sidearm slider right there, tried to get Leyritz to chase.
Full count. Into left center field. A very good at bat for Leyritz, and he is on to start the 5th. So it was 0-2. Leyritz battled, got it to 3-2. And gets a leadoff single.
The Fox pitch by pitch on Jim Leyritz. A fastball away. A drop down fastball. Another drop down fastball. Tried to get to chase the overhand slider. The overhand fastball. Sidearm slider. Fastball outside part of the plate. Leyritz goes right up the middle with it.
So Leyritz now 3 out of 8. He allows Pettit a chance to try and bunt. Ball 1.
And if he's successful, it will be the first successful sacrifice bunt by a pitcher in World Series play since 1990. Bob Welch of the Oakland Athletics laid one down.
1-0 from Smoltz. Now 2-0.
a little out of rhythm this inning. He's had to shake off Javi Lopez quite a bit. Actually stepped off the rubber twice during the course of Jim Leyrit's at bat. Now a delay as Pettit goes down to talk to the third base coach, Willie Randolph.
I wonder if Randolph told him to take this pitch and then bunt on the 2-1 pitch.
Gonna swing. Wow. 2 balls and a strike as the Yankees change up the old slug bunt.
Chipper Jones was almost close enough to shake hands with Andy Pettit. Very unusual for a pitcher who's never had a big league at bat.
Back to the bunt in the air. Chipper Jones, the catch, one away.
Well, this is why they let Andy Pettit swing the bat on the 2-0 pitch. Jones actually catches this ball almost in the batting circle around home plate. He was cheating so close to the plate. Look where he is when he makes that play.
Yankees could have given Pettit a swing just to keep Jones a little more honest.
Yeah, they did on that 2-0 pitch. He didn't bite.
Not at all. Yankees went right back to the bunt, and Pettit pops it up. So 1 on, 1 out. The runner still at first. And in steps Derek Jeter. 0 for 2, however. Hit a rocket his last time up right at the third baseman Chipper Jones, who is in to guard against a possible bunt. Leyrit's at first, 1 out. Strike 1.
It looked on that swing like Jeter was going to right field. Whenever a hitter has that inside-out swing, Lopez is sitting outside, and Jeter appeared to be going the other way.
Throw to first base. You see a fist, and you see Javi Lopez's thumb come peeking out of that fist. That's a signal to John Smoltz. He wants him to throw a pickoff throw to first base.
0-1 the count on Jeter. 1-0 Yankees here in the 5th. Now 1-1 on Derek, who was struck out and lined out.
Remember, we talked about that National League style of play that Joe Torre loves to work with Derek Jeter. Speed of the runner, not a problem here.
Strike 2. Joe Torre in last night's game used 22 players. Two and 2. Joe Torre managing back in a National League ballpark, and he used them all, and it worked. Called on his last weapon, Wade Boggs, who drew the bases-loaded walk to put the Yankees out in front for good. That came in the 10th. 2 and 2 on Jeter. Good swing. It'll stay 2 and 2.
Jeter with the inside-out swing again. Smoltz working him away. McGriff holding the runner at first base. Big hole in the right side of the infield.
I think more than any other hitter on either side, Jeter is inclined to go the other way with 2 strikes.
1 on, 1 out. The other way into right. Jermaine dive, a diving catch. 2 gone.
Fine play by Jermaine Dye. looking at first and electing to hold the ball. Good play.
Last night, Dye committed an error on a ball coming in. Ball that hopped in front of him and then skipped past him off the bat of Cecil Fielder. But went for an RBI single and an error. That helped the Yankees in their 3-run 6th inning, which at the time cut the Atlanta lead in half. Now 1 on, 2 out. A 1-0 count on Charlie Hayes. Strike 1.
Smoltz got away with one right there, a hanging slider inside part of the plate.
Two and two. Somebody get him a lozenge. He's had a long night over in that dugout. Bobby Cox has been yelling at Larry Young since this game started. 1 on, 2 out. 2 and 2 on Hayes. Full count. And Larich will take off. There's the incentive to make this top of the 5th inning end right here. Bernie Williams waits on deck. Halfway through it in game 5, 1-0 New York.
Major League Baseball's World Series is brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By AT&T, your true choice. And by Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Again, our thanks to the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for providing tonight's shots. Goodyear Blimps are in their 4th decade of covering live sporting events, and they're here at Game 5 of the 1996 World Series. The Yankees lead by 1 halfway through it. Bottom of the 5th inning, bottom of the order coming up. Andrew Jones, Jermaine Dye, and Jeff Blauser.
And mercifully, between innings, we heard our last Macarena in this ballpark.
I knew someone would bring that up.
Knowing how you love it so.
Andrew Jones looks at a strike. I'm sure that'll make its way across the street.
No chance.
Jones walked and stole a base his first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Andrew Jones with a great at bat his first time up. 2 check swings on 2 big breaking balls. Fell behind 0-2 and then ended up walking against Andy Pettit.
Just low, 2-1. Jermaine Dye on deck, then Blauser. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Braves here in the 5th. 3-1 on Andrew Jones.
Dangerous pitch here for Andy Pettit. Tries to come inside with that cutter on Andrew Jones. He's going to be ready to hit it.
Up the middle of base hits. And the first hit of the night for Atlanta. Tomorrow, it's the most anticipated new series of the season. People magazine calls it far and away the best new show of the year. From the creator of The X-Files comes Millennium, premiering tomorrow after a classic episode of The X-Files right here on Fox. Big Friday night on Fox, a big Thursday night at Fulton County Stadium. Jermaine Dye to the plate after the leadoff hit by Andrew Jones.
To me like the Atlanta Braves base runners have picked something up in Andy Pettit's move. Marquise Grissom last inning and now Andrew Jones this inning, reading that move to first very quickly. Usually when Andy Pettit throws to first base, the runner will freeze momentarily and then have to dive back into the bag. They're reading it very well.
Jones has already stolen a base tonight. There he goes. They have him picked off. The throw down. One away.
Well, so much for that.
Now that was awfully close to a ball.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that right leg almost went behind the left leg, if not fully. I think that's a balk right there. Once the right leg goes behind the left leg, well, it's close.
Very borderline.
Yep. I think the toe of the right foot, or the toes of the right foot, went behind the left leg. I think the Yankees possibly could have gotten away with something there, but it was very close. Once that right foot goes behind the left leg once again, the pitcher is committed to go home.
Caught stealing 1-3-6. And with one out, nobody on, Jermaine Dye pops it up to right. Paul O'Neill is in. 2 out. What a weapon for Andy Pettit. Gives up the leadoff hit. Picked off 11 during the regular season. And he catches Jones, leaving too soon here in the 5th.
Not only is it a weapon because he picks guys off, but he forces runners to take shorter leads. A lot of times they're going back to first base as the ball's delivered. Get a lot more double plays that way if he throws a ground ball. Very good weapon.
So 2 out, nobody on for the number 8 hitter, Jeff Blauser. Hitting only 154 in the World Series. Came in hitting only 158 in the entire postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike. And at no point in no game has Bobby Cox done what we thought he may do earlier in the NLCS, and that is put Chipper Jones at short and Terry Pendleton in the starting lineup at third. Instead, it's been Blauser. And he's 2 out of 14 in the World Series. A leadoff hit, a man caught stealing after 5 in Atlanta. Game 5, 1-0 Yankees. Young Braves fans on hand for the final game at Fulton County Stadium. One thing you could definitely notice as you watch different postseason events in any of the major sports, the Super Bowl has become so corporate. Stanley Cup final has become so corporate. You see so few kids in the stands at those events, but got a lot of fun shots of kids in this series already. That's foul down the left field line off the bat of Bernie Williams, and a lot of young people, when they grow old, will be able to say they saw the final baseball game played at Fulton County Stadium.
Not only a lot of young kids in the stands, a lot of young kids on the field.
Upper deck tickets today were selling for $550 here in Atlanta. Field tickets selling for $800, and no telling how much money were they requested for box seats.
500 to sit up there, huh?
550. 500, you got a deal.
1 ball, 1 strike.
About a 9% discount.
Well, this series will go back to Yankee Stadium. Tickets were hard to come by in games 1 and 2. Can only imagine for game 6 and, if necessary, 7. 1 ball, 1 strike on Williams. He pops it foul, strike 2. Cecil Fielder waits on deck. He has the only RBI tonight. RBI double with 1 out back in the 4th. Lopez a throw, and that's strikeout number 8 for John Smoltz. And the first down here in the 6th inning. Our Aflac trivia question. Friends at Aflac asked this question. Who are the players with the most career home runs and most career wins at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium?
Dale Murphy and Phil Niekro come to mind as 2 guys that could hold those 2 titles.
Cecil upstairs, a swing and a miss on strike 1. You'd have to believe it would be a guy like Murphy who played his entire career in this ballpark with the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah,
at least.
right.
Of course, he moved on the tail end of his career. 1 out, nobody on. Now 1-1 on Fielder.
Dale and his wife and 6 children, I believe, probably watching the game from Utah tonight.
Dale Murphy was at the game last night. I saw him down on the field before last night's game. Williams struck out. Now 2-1 on Fielder.
It's like Smoltz is deliberately trying to throw the high fastballs to Fielder this time around.
Outside corner. 2-2.
Well, after what Fielder did with the low inside fastball last time, John Smoltz would be advised to either stay away or stay up.
Over the head of Smoltz for a 1-out base hit. Fielder is 3 for 3.
Nice effort by John Smoltz. The chopper back through the box, tries to climb the ladder and get it. The 2 middle infielders looked like they were more concerned about avoiding each other than making a play. Even with Fielder's speed, I don't think they would have had him on that ball.
Now Strawberry, 1 on, 1 out. Strike 1 from Smoltz. Joe Torre could have gone the easy route and put Tino Martinez in the starting lineup tonight. And he sticks with Fielder, who has 3 of the 4 Yankee hits. 1 on, 1 out, and 1-1 on Strawberry.
I think both managers unconventional in that way. They do not subscribe to what the masses think. They don't care. They feel, both managers, Joe Torre and Bobby Cox, feel that they have the best reign on their club.
Smoltz falls behind Strawberry, 2-1. See Cox asking Leo Mazzoni, that's his fastball? He was perplexed, to say the least, with Steve Avery on the mound last night in that 10th inning. And the pitches he threw to Tim Raines. 1 on, 1 out, 2-1 the count. Now 3-1, so Smoltz is working his way into trouble here in the 6th.
If Darryl Strawberry hits a ball to the right side of the infield, Chipper Jones will be the guy who takes the throw from one of the 3 infielders that are on the right side. It'll be a very unusual double play attempt if Strawberry hits it to somebody on the right side.
Already up to 100 pitches for John Smoltz. Strawberry couldn't hold up, full count.
Very unusual approach there by Strawberry. Good fastball down and in a zone he usually likes. He goes way around. Very tentative approach.
ball 4. So Joe Torre started Cecil Fielder. And Strawberry took ball 4 down and in. It's 2 on 1 out for the Yankees here in the 6th as Smoltz issues his second walk of the night.
Joe Torre talking to us about Darryl Strawberry before the game, saying that if he doesn't get a hit, he, more than any of the other Yankee hitters, are more apt to walk. And the reason is that pitchers are pitching to the reputation of Darryl Strawberry instead of who Darryl Strawberry is today. Clearly not the hitter he was during the 80s.
Now 2 on with 1 out for Paul O'Neill. And O'Neill is clearly not the hitter he was during 1996's regular season right now.
I think that hamstring's just killing.
There's no doubt. It's his left hamstring, his back leg. And it's bothered him to the point where in this World Series he's 1 out of 8. And he's driven home only 2 runs during the entire postseason. 2 on 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Being a left-handed hitter, before he strides into the ball and approaches the pitch, he needs to get his weight back onto that back leg. If you've got a bad hamstring or a bad quad muscle on your push-off leg, you're going to feel it on every swing.
1 and 1 on O'Neill. 2 on 1 out. Outside corner, strike 2.
You become tentative at the plate, and I think that more than any other word describes O'Neill's approaches at the plate during this series.
Crowd wants another John Smoltz strikeout. He struck out 8. 2 and 2. Hasn't this the New York Yankees lately in this series get the pitch count up for these Atlanta starters? And the last 2 nights, as the Braves have had to go to their bullpen, the Yankees have scored their runs and won the last 2 games. 2 and 2 on O'Neill. Do it again. O'Neill already over 100 pitches here in the 6th inning.
O'Neill with that bad left hamstring, you can see doesn't really ever get his weight onto that back leg. Just a slight rocking motion, almost as if he's anticipating the pain he's going to feel when he gets that weight back on the back leg.
2 and 2 on O'Neill. Full count.
I think Joe Torre's going to send the runners. He's nodded to first base coach Willie Randolph. Yes.
Risky with O'Neill. With Smoltz on the mound, this could be the old strike him out, throw him out double play. If they start the runners. Runners going. Do it again.
I think it's a good play because I think O'Neill is probably going to get a fastball, and because he's seen so many pitches from John Smoltz, and because it's the middle innings, he's more apt to put the ball in play on the ground. And if you hit it right at an infielder, it is a double play. But I think sending the runners with a 1-run lead's the right play here.
O'Neill grounded into 21 double plays during the regular season, and that's when he had a good leg.
Going again. Hard hit to Lemke. They avoid the double play, and it's 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. By sending Fielder and Strawberry, the inning continues.
Well, it's a calculated risk a manager has to take. He's got to trust his personnel to do the job up there. Paul O'Neill knew the runners were going to go. He knew it was on his shoulders if that pitch was in the strike zone to hit that ball hard somewhere.
And he did.
And he did.
But right at Lemke for the 4-3 ground out. And it's 2nd and 3rd, 2 out for Mariano Duncan. Strike 1.
Well, the Yankees as a team may be much more patient at the plate against the Braves starters, but Mariano Duncan as an individual, particularly with runners in scoring position, is not going to let anything pass.
First pitch swinging in each of his 3 at-bats tonight. Second and third, 2 out. 1-1 on Duncan. Looking for his first World Series RBIs here in 1996. Just his 2nd hit. Smoltz trying to keep it a 1-run game. That's out of play for strike 2.
3 straight fastballs to Duncan. John Smoltz led the National League in wild pitches 3 straight years, 92 through 94. Most of them came on the splitter. He had 10 this year.
Andy Pettit has allowed only 1 hit so far. There have been 4 World Series 1-hitters. Ed Ruleback, the Cubs in 1906. Claude Passot for the Cubs in 1945. Bill Bevins for the Yankees in 1947. And Jim Lonborg for Boston in 1967. Interesting thing about Bevins in 1947, he allowed only 1 hit, which was the game winner. Wow. 2-run double by Cookie Lavagetto to win game 4. The Yankees went on to win that series 4-3. And then, of course, there's that 5th one. But it's interesting with Bevins. You know, you start talking about 1-hitters, talk about no-hitters, talk about perfect game, which of course belongs to Don Larson in 1956, October 8th. Pettit's had that kind of game after a very rocky start in game 1. Smoltz is on to start the inning with a hit. Forget the 1-hitter, and the tying run is on in the 6th.
We told you earlier, Smoltz is a great athlete. Not only can he swing the bat, he can run the bases. Cut fastball from Pettit, tries to get inside on Smoltz. He'll have nothing to do with that. Hooks the ball into left field.
So the tying run is on here in the 6th inning. Here's Grissom. He struck out and walked.
That John Smoltz could run the bases. John Smoltz has 3 postseason stolen bases, 91, 92, and last year.
Pettit has already caught 1. Andrew Jones last inning, and he checks on Smoltz.
Oh, you got to give Joe Torre and his staff credit, because they obviously know that John Smoltz can run. Otherwise, they wouldn't be holding him on.
Grissom showed bunt on the first pitch from Pettit. Again, strike 1.
Marquise will try to bunt the ball if the sacrifice is on again down the first baseline. The reason for that is the first baseman's holding the runner on, and he can't break home until the pitcher releases the ball.
Anybody else surprised that the Braves are bunting here?
I wouldn't be surprised if they take it off and let Marquise Grissom swing away right here. Yankees playing a very aggressive bunt defense, a lot of holes in that infield.
Got Grissom at the plate, who came into this game 8 out of 19. He's had a hit in each of his first 10 World Series games. I don't know why you take the bat out of his hands. Now he's swinging, strike 2.
Well, sometimes what you do and what a manager will do, he'll help the hitter out by luring the infield in, by getting infield movement. And Bobby Cox has even talked about that. And that's why he puts the bunt on early in the count and then allows the hitter to swing away, as he did with Grissom then.
Smoltz a leadoff hit. He's hit the ball hard twice tonight. He's lined to right and singled. Now the 1-2 to Grissom. Base hit left field.
See a bunt.
Bet your house on it.
Gotta break a ball down and into Marquise Grissom. That low ball is the easiest pitch to hit. You just drop the head of the bat on it.
And now with 2 on, nobody out, and Mark Lemke coming up. The Yankees expect the bunt. Lemke tried to bunt here in game 3 in this same situation and popped up to first.
Charlie Hayes out to talk to Andy Pettit as Jimmy Williams talks to Mark Lemke. Now Jeter and Duncan join Hayes and Pettit. The one thing Lemke will try to do is bunt it hard enough to get it by Pettit. Keep in mind that a left-hander is falling toward the third base line, and he makes this play. If he makes the play, he can go to third a lot easier because it's a much easier throw for a left-hander than a right-hander.
Well, there's all kinds of conferences going on now. Mel Stoudemire apparently saw the confusion at the mound. There can be no confusion in a bunt situation. Everybody needs to know where the other players are going to be, know where you're going to try to get the out. Pat Corrales, the first base coach, goes out and talks to the runner, John Smoltz, at second base. All kinds of communicating going on out there.
Another thing that certainly would be to the advantage of the Braves, as you mentioned, John Smoltz, a good base runner, and he's a fast base runner. Not only good, but he can run.
Tying and go-ahead runs on. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. Yankees leading by 1. Strike 1. You bet Lemke is fighting himself to get that bunt effort here in game 3 out of his head when he popped it up to the first baseman in a key situation. The Yankees went on to win that game 5-2. To Pettit. His throw to third. Out.
That's the play we were talking about. A right-hander can't make this play. But Andy Pettit, by barehanding the ball, makes a terrific play. The bunt's not a bad one. A barehanded by Pettit to just get Smoltz in third.
Amazing for Andy Pettit, only 24 years old in his 2nd World Series game. You talk about poise.
Was that by barehanding the ball, he lost nothing. If he drops the ball, he still gets Lemke at first.
Now Jones back to Pettit. You want more poise? 1-4-3. Inning over, and the Yankees hold on to the lead. After 6, 1-0 New York. Back to Fulton County after this from your local Fox station. Old Andy Pettit, good play on the bunt. Outstanding on the double play.
Makes the transition from the glove to the throwing hand very quickly. A good feed right over the base. Nothing to it.
We have played 6. It's 1-0 New York in Lawrence.
will lead it off. Smoltz has struck out 9. John's postseason strikeout high is 10, which came in the NLCS in 1993 against Philadelphia, Game 4. The Yankees are having fun.
Well, Don Zimmer had a long conversation with Andy Pettit. I'm sure it was regarding if Jim Leyritz gets on base and he's asked to bunt, what to do if the Braves charge down his throat again.
2-0 on Leyritz. Now 3-0 as Smoltz wanted that call, didn't get it.
Don Zimmer's always been a big fan of that slug bunt where you square around, show bunt, and then take a half swing at the ball.
Leyritz leading it off. He's struck out. He's singled. Off the end of the bat, down the right field line. Die. Can't get there. Good effort. Strike 2.
Diving on that sandy gravel over there, you know you're going to come up with some burns on your elbows and knees, but don't leave it on the field. This is the World Series.
Leyritz broke his bat, so he goes back to the dugout to get a new one with a full count of 3-2. By the way, there have been 42 10-strikeout games in the World Series. The last one from Steve Carlton in 1980. That should total 9. We haven't checked it, but that should total 9. Yep. They're right on it. A leadoff walk. Well, we've left you hanging long enough on our Aflac trivia question. Who are the players with the most career home runs and most career wins at Fulton County Stadium? For Dale Murphy, and that is right, 205. And Phil Niekro, the most career wins here at this ballpark, 130. And their numbers are retired. Murphy, the 2-time MVP. A leadoff walk, and now Smoltz will try to get around it. Pettit bunting. Strike 1.
Andy probably saying, well, I tested Chipper Jones the last time. And as we said, close enough to shake hands with him. Chipper Jones catching that bunt in foul territory about 10 feet from home plate.
Leyritz a leadoff walk and a 1 count on Pettit. Just to finish the story about the strikeouts, Bob Gibson had 5 10-strikeout games. The record, of course, set by Gibson, 17. 1968 with a catcher named McCarver behind the plate. One and one, the count on Pettit.
I really think the Yankees should switch up and let Pettit take a swing at this pitch the way the Braves are charging.
You get your wish as Leyritz steals second. The Braves fall asleep, and Leyritz, who stole 2 bases during the regular season, gets his first in the postseason.
I think that was a delayed steal. Javier Lopez blinded, and you could see the delay of the infielders covering. That would give, no, he took off right away. It was not a delayed steal.
With a left-handed hitter, somebody's got to let him know.
Now the bunt to Smoltz, and they have Leyritz hung up. And tagged out for the first out of the inning. The fielder's choice 1-5-6, and Leyritz, who stole second, is erased between second and third.
As a runner at second base with nobody at first, you do not have to advance on a bunt. It has to be a good bunt that you know you can get to third base. That ball was bunted hard right back to John Smoltz. Jim Leyritz hung out in no man's land.
Leyritz had
zero time to get his bearings at second base after stealing second on the very next pitch. The bunt by Pettit. Now Andy is on at first with one out for Jeter, and that's strike one.
Well, you'd like to be able to bunt the man to third base, but really he's already in scoring position at second. You do not want to run into that first out of the inning at third base.
And also your vantage point from second base on a ball bunted back to the pitcher, it's not as good as if you were to have an angle on a ball bunted toward first or toward third.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jeter.
That's a good point, though, Bob. And I think Joe Torre telling Jim Leyritz that you don't have to go if the ball's not a good bunt.
To the right side for the double play. Pettit doubled off. 3 unassisted. Bottom of the 7th inning. Time to stretch. Yankees lead by 1. The 7th inning. They play Old Lang Syne here at Fulton County Stadium after Derek Jeter lined into the double play.
Well, as he has been doing most of this World Series, inside outing the ball right at Fred McGriff. Andy Pettit with not much base running experience, but I don't think a regular base runner could have gotten back on that line drive.
I think Andy is upset because he didn't get the bunt down a little better with Leyritz on at second base.
So the Yankees still out in front 1-0 as we get into the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be a tough frame for Pettit. McGriff, Lopez, and Andrew Jones. 4, 5, and 6 for the Braves here in the 7th. Fred walked his last time up, struck out. Back in the 2nd.
I think particularly out over the plate against the left-hander.
Back to Pettit, through Jeter. The leadoff man is on.
Got that pitch out over the plate that you just talked about, Tim. This ball just handcuffs Jeter a little bit. McGriff hustles down the line. Cecil Fielder with the big stretch. Can't get him.
It's an error on the shortstop, Jeter. And 1 error on each side tonight. Here's Javi Lopez.
Each error made tonight. Here's that ball hit by McGriff. Pettit tries to go behind his back. Jeter bobbles. Had he come up cleanly, McGriff's out. But both errors that were made tonight made to lead off the inning. The Yankees capitalized. The Braves hope they do.
The other error belongs to Grissom. A 2-base error on a ball hit by Charlie Hayes leading off the 4th. To the second baseman, Duncan. The only play is at second. And the force out 4 unassisted.
I think that's a bad play by Mariano Duncan right there. If he fields that ball and runs at McGriff and throws the ball to first base, they get the force at first base. They have McGriff caught in a rundown. Look where Fred McGriff is right there, middle of the baseline. Go to first base, get the out. You've got McGriff caught in a rundown. Should have been a double play.
Because McGriff wasn't far enough towards second base to where when Duncan made the throw, he makes it to second easily. He was about halfway, and he's not a fast runner.
So it's 1 on, 1 out after the force out. And the batter is Andrew Jones, who's been a tough out for Pettit tonight. Jones has walked and singled. The wild pitch. What a play by Leyritz. How does he keep that ball at home plate and keep Lopez at first?
You give with the breaking ball.
Wow.
Anticipate the breaking ball in the dirt. Good curve by Pettit. Watch him give with the breaking ball. and use the mitt to cushion, not to catch. Watch him cushion. Softly, and it bounces away to where he can make a play in case Lopez runs. Good play. Great play.
Jones pops it into right center field. Bernie Williams wants it. 2 out.
Well, we saw some miscommunication earlier between Grissom and Dye. Look at Bernie Williams. Screaming at the top of his lungs, waving his glove, telling Paul O'Neill, I got it.
David Weathers getting ready for the Yankees in their bullpen. 1 on, 2 out. Jermaine Dye, strike 1. In case you're wondering about Mariano Rivera, he has appeared in each of the last 3 games. Never in his big league career has he thrown in 4 straight games.
And this would normally be his territory of the ball game, a 1-run lead in the 7th inning. Usually Mariano Duncan would be warming up to start the inning. Mariano Rivera, rather.
0-1 the count. 1-1 on Jermaine Dye. Balecki getting ready for Atlanta. That points out the problems right there for the Atlanta bullpen. Balecki was extended last night. He's warming up again here tonight. There's a strike to Jermaine Dye, and it's 1-2. Bobby Cox at least telling us he came into this game not expecting to use Balecki. He's getting loose here in the 7th. One on, 2 out. 2-2 on Dye.
I think unless the Braves get down to John Smoltz' spot in the order and have a chance to score a run, I think you're going to see John Smoltz go back out there.
Right.
A tired John Smoltz is better than anybody they can bring in out of that bullpen right now.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Dye. Back to Pettit. Plenty of time. Inning over. Andy Pettit pitches around a leadoff error now after 7 in Game 5. Yankees still lead by 1. Here in Game 5. Series tied 2 games apiece. 1-0 New York as they bat in the 8th inning. High above Atlanta. Our shots are from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. Our thanks to Captain Chambers and the crew for the many spectacular shots in tonight's telecast. It's been a fun run in the city of Atlanta. For all of us at Fox Sports, we've had a lot of time in this city, and the city of Atlanta has been very kind to us.
The fans really turned it around from the first 2 games of the NLCS. They seem to be a little blasé, a few extra seats here at Fulton County Stadium, but when the Cardinals pushed them to the wall, the fans responded in a big way.
They are here for the final game at Fulton County Stadium. Here's Charlie Hayes leading it off. Strike 1. How about the matchup for Game 6?
Right into your living room here. Duck.
John Smoltz working strong into the 8th inning. Game 6 will have Greg Maddux and Jimmy Key. A rematch of Game 2. That game will take place at Yankee Stadium on Saturday night. 7:30 Eastern right here on Fox. It's Hayes, Williams, and Fielder. Breaking ball is just low. And a 1-2 count on Charlie Hayes.
And the 8th inning of this game becomes pivotal. The bottom of the 8th, this slider just missing from Smoltz, just a wee bit low.
That's down the right field line in trouble. Jermaine Dye, another fine catch. They had Hayes played perfectly. Week after week, New York Undercover tackles the issues torn from today's headlines and brings you the stories that are happening right here, right now. New York Undercover returns with a brand new episode on Halloween night next Thursday, right here on Nonstop Fox. They have taken the trip to Atlanta with us. Michael DiLorenzo and Malik Yoba, the stars of New York Undercover. Bernie Williams gets into one to right. Jermaine Dye back to get it 2 out.
That was a good play because Jermaine Dye was turned around, turned the wrong way, recovered in time. Fortunately, did not have a lot of hang time. See him turn right there. Turning to his left, now spinning around to make the catch. Good play. See him look over his right shoulder initially, and then had to make the adjustment over his left shoulder to make the play.
Talk about two good young rookie outfielders, Jermaine Dye and Andrew Jones. There's a ball to Cecil Fielder, who has had a big night. 3 out of 3, with the only RBI tonight coming on a 1-out double to score Charlie Hayes, who had reached on an error back in the 4th. Back behind home plate and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Joe and Bob, the reason I was talking about the bottom of the 8th inning, if Andy Pettitte could make it through the bottom of the 8th and Wendlandt could save it, the Yankees go home 3-2. You have a rested Mariano Rivera for Saturday night, and Joe Torre could go back to that 6-2-1 to even the odds against Greg Maddux, who was spectacular the last time at Yankee Stadium. And there's Wendlandt loosening up.
1-1 on Fielder. He singled twice and doubled. Strike 2.
Boy, nice frame right there by Javi Lopez. Pulled that ball right back over the outside part of the plate and got the call.
That's number 10. And that ends the top of the 8th inning. Braves bat. Smoltz wants the crowd to get up. Braves trail by 1.
Baseball's World Series is brought to you by Original Coors, pure and simple, the last real beer. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Nicotrol, 6 weeks, 1 step. Take control with Nicotrol. And by Wendy's and the new Bigger Plumper Grilled Chicken Breast Filet Sandwich. Try one today.
We get into the bottom of the 8th inning after Smoltz strikes out his 10th by getting Fielder to end the top of this inning.
Got away with a bad slider. You could see the way Javi Lopez caught that ball. The pitch was actually moving back into the right-hander. Result is still the same. Smoltz trying to fire up his teammates.
Andy Pettitte back to work. New first baseman Tino Martinez takes over for Fielder. Blauser, ball 1. You wonder if this is the last start as an Atlanta Brave for John Smoltz. Probably not, but he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. Into left field. Well hit at the track, at the wall. Caught by Strawberry. 1 away in the 8th.
What a remarkable play by a man with a broken big toe on his right foot. And that reach didn't hurt either.
Not so sure that Tim Raines could have gotten to this ball.
Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, cheerleading for his pitcher, but you really have to be impressed with the 1996 World Series turned in by Darryl Strawberry.
Absolutely.
A running catch literally at the wall to Rob Blauser now. Mike Mordecai off the bench. He'll hit for Smoltz.
A 6'6" frame and a wingspan like an eagle. Catches the ball right before crashing into the wall.
To the shortstop, Jeter. It eats him up. Still got it. 2 gone.
crawls up the arm of Derek Jeter, popping around in there like a pinball machine. He recovers in time to just get Mordecai.
Gives you a good idea of just how strong his arm is.
Looking at the infield, Jeter's had problems all night fielding ground balls.
2 out, nobody on for Marquise Grissom. Wolder's getting ready for Atlanta out of their bullpen, and he will take over in the 9th inning. Smoltz lifted for the pinch hitter Mordecai. Now Grissom 1 out of 2 with a walk and a single. Up the middle and through for a 2-out base hit.
Trying to field one behind his back, and that time I think he was fooled. The ball wasn't hit as hard as he thought it was.
So the 2-out hit, the inning continues for Mark Lemke, trying to keep a 13-game postseason hitting streak alive. He's 0 for 3, and he takes ball 1. First for Atlanta. And Pettit gives Grissom a look.
Grissom has 1 stolen base in this game. The other stolen base by Andrew Jones. Count in Mark Lemke's favor. See if Bobby Cox has Lemke take a strike and allow Grissom to steal.
There goes Grissom. Ground ball to Hayes. We are through 8. Game 5. Series tied. 2 games apiece. 9th inning. Wolder's in. Yankees up by 1. Run tonight in the 4th inning. That's it. Yankees hanging on 1-0 into the 9th.
Bobby Cox was livid. One of the few times he ever gets mad at Mark Lemke, but he was very upset that Lemke didn't take that strike to give Grissom a chance to steal the base.
Grissom was running on the pitch, and Lemke grounded to third. Now Wolder's back to work. Strawberry leads it off. To believe that Wolder's last night in 2 innings allowed the 3 runs and the home run by Leyritz, but 6 hits. Strawberry tonight has made his presence felt with that catch in left. Last inning, 1996 postseason. 5 saves, 1 blown save. 1 ball, 1 strike. O'Neill next, and then Duncan. The slow roller for Wohlers. 1 away. 99 miles per hour from Wohlers. Strawberry, the first out here in the 9th inning. Saturday, it's Game 6 of the World Series as we move back to New York, where the Yankees look to capture their first title in 18 years. The Braves look to repeat. Don't miss Game 6 of the World Series Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, exclusively on Fox. Paul O'Neill in this World Series has only 1 hit. 1 out of 9. Ball 1.
Usually those balls that come in about 99 go out at about 8. That's what that ball Strawberry hit. About 8 miles an hour going down the first.
Wohlers made a good play.
Yeah.
Leadoff man retired. This may be enforcing as you look at Wetland getting ready out in the Yankee bullpen. Interesting what will happen in the bottom of this 9th inning with Chipper, Jones, and McGriff, the first 2 scheduled hitters. Jones better from the left side, McGriff a left-hander. Pettit may start the bottom of the 9th inning.
You remember last night in the bottom of the 10th inning with McGriff leading off. Joe Torre leaving Graham Lloyd in to pitch to 1 batter. And then Wetland came in.
Wetland is just now starting to toss lightly out of the bullpen. 3-1 to count on O'Neill. Here's ball 4, a 1-on-1.
I think you're right on, Joe. If John Wetland was going to start this inning, he would be cranking it up a lot quicker than he is right now. He's just playing a casual game of catch.
Pettit has allowed no runs on 4 hits. Also pitched around an error in that 7th inning.
And he has 2 complete games this year during the regular season and only 1 shutout.
1 on, 1 out for Mariano Duncan. First pitch swinging as usual, strike 1. Bobby Cox defended his decision to bring Wohlers in last night in the 8th inning, saying I could pitch him 2 innings tonight and he'd be ready for tomorrow's game. Well, he pitched 2 innings last night and here he is in game 5. Strike 2.
You can see the downward movement on that split finger fastball from Mark Wohlers. Has not yet gone to the slider that was his downfall in last night's ball game. Watch the movement on this ball as it goes straight down to the ground.
To the right side, lefty, good play. Out at second, safe at first.
Fine play by Mark Lemke, who's shaking his head. Watch this play. Going to his left, short hop, perfect throw to Jeff Blauser. Duncan just beat it.
Always tougher to turn that double play from second to short to first because of the time involved in turning the body around, making that throw to short.
Duncan on at first, 2 out in the rematch. Leyritz, strike 1. 1 home run in the 1996 World Series last night to tie the game in the 8th inning. A 3-run shot against Wohlers, and I wonder how many sliders you'll see.
Nada.
One and 1. Fastball 98 miles per hour from Wohlers. Duncan stealing second. Safe.
Now nobody's on the on-deck circle, so that's why Bobby Cox is going to make Joe Torre go to somebody else or have Andy Pettit hit for himself.
Looked to me like Mariano Duncan is out. His lead foot goes over the bag. Blauser tags his back leg.
Yeah.
The throw was in the dirt. A nice pick by Jeff Blauser, but Duncan with the lead foot goes right over the top of the base. Blauser applies the tag to the back leg, but the Yankees get the safe call.
Now the wild pitch on ball 4 of the intentional walk. And it's first and third, 2 out.
That stolen base by Mariano Duncan could have been the worst thing in the world for the Yankees. This is a wild pitch uncorked. I wonder how many people will remember that. The last wild pitch uncorked at Fulton County Stadium on an intentional walk.
Here's the play at second base on the stolen base. You see the lead leg goes over the bag. The tag is made on the back leg.
But Duncan was called safe, and your point, Tim, the stolen base takes the bat right out of the hands of Leyritz. After the intentional walk, it's first and third because of the wild pitch. And here's what Joe Torre thinks of Chipper Jones and Fred McGriff, who will bat in the bottom of this 9th inning. He'll stick with the left-hander, Andy Pettit, not to hit, but to pitch.
And had Duncan stayed at first, then Jim Leyritz, who homered last night, has a chance to hit. But by stealing, they walk Leyritz intentionally, and Pettit has to hit.
Choked way up on the bat. Strike 1.
Well, no secret what he's looking for, just has a little trouble catching up to it. Another fastball in the high 90s from Mark Wohlers.
Runners at the corner, 2 out. Pettit pops one into left. Easy for Andrew Jones. And we head to the bottom of the 9th. Heart of the order will bat. Yankees lead by 1. That's courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. It's been a quick night. Fun game, even though it's only 1-0, and the only run on an unearned run scored by the Yankees in the 4th. Pettit back to work. Bottom of the 9th inning. Chipper Jones looks at ball 1. Hitless tonight. Good fastball, 1-1. Luis Sojo takes over at second base for Mariano Duncan. Strike 2. The last complete game shutout in World Series play was in 1993, Game 5. From Kurt Schilling over Toronto, 2-0, but you wouldn't expect the complete game tonight. Pettit likely in there for the first 2 hitters. The count on Chipper Jones. Base hit. Jones digging for second. He's there with nobody out.
The Braves, seeing the Yankees in their prevented double defense. Hayes toward the line, the outfield deep, and Chipper Jones gets a double. Good base running by Jones.
a double going from first to second, you get it from going hard right out of the box.
Tying run at second for McGriff. Hitless tonight. He's driven in 6 during the World Series.
Signs behind second base. So over to talk to Jeter, asking him what is Leyritz putting down, just to make sure. You got to be thinking this is the last batter for Andy Pettitte in this ball game.
Javier Lopez on deck and Wetland getting ready in the Yankee bullpen. 1-1 on McGriff. To the right side, the runner advances to third, and Martinez will take it himself. 1 away. And here comes Joe Torre. Wetland and Weathers getting ready. It'll be Wetland. Pettitte gone. What an effort. Tying run at third. 1 out. Outstanding. 8 in a third innings. No runs on 5 hits. He leaves with a tying run at third. 1 out, and he hands it to Wetland. Joe Torre will be second guessed for leaving Pettitte in to hit in the top of this 9th inning. But it's easy to understand why he did it. He has a tired bullpen. Pettitte had been working very well. You had Jones and McGriff coming up in the 9th inning, and it was Wohlers on the mound for Atlanta. Not easy to bank on a hit against Wohlers. Chipper Jones, a hustling double to lead off the inning. McGriff tapped to first. Tying run at third, 1 out. The infield in with Javi Lopez at the plate. Jones holds it third, 2 out.
Looked like a slider to Javier Lopez. Watch how Hayes stays down, stumbles, goes to his knees, gets up, and makes the play.
Plays that almost like a catcher blocking the ball in the dirt. Knows he's going to have plenty of time to throw him out. He just has to stay in front of that ball.
Pettitte can hardly watch. The Yankees shooting for their 8th straight road victory in the postseason. They're going to have to go through Klesko. Graham Lloyd getting ready, and Joe Torre wants to talk to Wetland. Klesko is in the on-deck circle.
I think Wetland's the man. They just want to make sure they know exactly how they're going to go after Ryan Klesko. This is not the time to make a mistake because you didn't know what you wanted to do.
I think Joe Torre just said, do you want to pitch to Klesko? And Wetland said yes. That appeared to be the communication.
Tying run at third. 2 out. Klesko off the bench for Atlanta.
The alternative would have been a very gutsy move by Joe Torre. Walk Klesko and pitch to Jermaine Dodd.
Here is the alternative. And by doing this, you're putting the winning run on base.
But Joe didn't ask him if he wanted to pitch to him. He asked him if he wanted to walk him. There was that pensive delay on Wetland's part. And he finally said, yeah.
So Klesko off the bench draws the intentional walk. Jermaine Dye is called back. And it will be the former Yankee Luis Polonia.
I think Bobby Cox in this situation, not only going with a left-hander against the right-handed pitcher, but realizing that Polonia with good speed could beat out an infield hit and tie the game.
Off the bench for Atlanta, their pinch hitters are 0 for their last 21 during the postseason. A major league record, 0 for 18 this postseason. I don't think Pettit's looked up yet.
Unless there's a television set on the floor of that dugout, he has not looked up since he went to the bench.
Runners at first and third, 2 out. Bottom of the 9th inning with the Yankees leading by 1. Strike 1.
Polonia, a very good low ball hitter. Sure enough, Wetland starts him out with a fastball. One of those situations in a game where you go right to a hitter's weakness and stay there.
Broken bat, foul ball, strike 2.
Another high, hard one from John Wetland. Running that fastball right in on Luis Polonia's hands. Shattering the bat.
Laird's out to talk to Wetland. The Yankees trying to keep their road winning streak alive and push it to 8. Trying to take a 3-games-to-2 advantage as this series heads back to Yankee Stadium. Game 6, Saturday night. The 0-2. Polonia stays alive.
I think Polonia broke another bat.
That's what hitters call an emergency swing. It was a pitch too close to take, but not really good enough to hit. So just try to slap it out of play and force Wetland to throw one more pitch.
Yeah, Bob, that's what makes him dangerous in this situation. He is such a fast runner. A play like that between the lines, he can beat it out, and the game would be tied.
Tying run at third, winning run at first, 2 out. 0-2. Do it again. What a start for 24-year-old Andy Pettitte tonight. Matched up with John Smoltz, the postseason veteran. Pettitte won 8 1/3 shutout ball. Polonia battling.
The first 2 games of this World Series, the Braves were up 2-0. People were calling it a mismatch. The Yankees are 1 out away from going back to New York with a 3-2 lead.
Runners at the corners, 2 out. Still an 0-2 count on Polonia.
And the Braves 90 feet away from tying it. He's going to continue to get those high fastballs. You've got to believe you can't waste a pitch here in the dirt because of the chance of a pass ball wild pitch.
Steady diet of high fastballs. Polonia doing a good job of fighting them off, but just not quite able to get on top of it and put it in play.
Polonia has fouled off 6 straight. 0-2 from Wetland. Into right field. O'Neill is there. Ball win 1-0 as Wetland saves it for Andy Pettitte.
Play by Paul O'Neill to end it.
O'Neill with that bad hamstring we've been talking about. Full extension at the end of that play. Comes up limping. Yeah.
Pettitte with the hugs, and why not? He is our Chevrolet player of the game. Andy Pettitte, 8 in a third innings. No runs on 5 hits. Walked 3, struck out 4, and picks up the biggest win in his life. Take a break, come back, and wrap up Game 5 here in Atlanta. The Yankees are up 3-2. Nothing win in Game 5. 24-year-old Andy Pettitte out-dueled one of the best postseason pitchers in the history of baseball, John Smoltz. The biggest win of his life. Standing by with Andy Pettitte is our Steve Lyons.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. Andy, this game was so big for you guys. You didn't have much of a bullpen down there. What did you do differently today than you didn't do in Game 1?
Well, tonight I just had a good sinker going, and that was pretty much all I threw. I haven't thrown the ball like that all year, and tonight we just went with nothing but sinkers, and it was unbelievable. I haven't pitched like that the whole season.
Chipper leads off the 9th with the double. You get into the dugout, and there's a towel over your head. You didn't look like you wanted to see anything after that.
Well, I've just been praying for John. I prayed for him all year whenever he comes in and closes the game out, and I was just hoping one more time he'd get one for me.
Now, fundamentals have been a big key to this series. So far, the Braves haven't done it, and you guys have made it. You come up with a big play on that bunt play by Lemke in the 6th. Were you sure that you had Smoltz at third when you turned to throw?
Well, I just knew, Jimmy had told me if he bunts it back to me, if it's coming back pretty hard, to go to third, and I tried barehanding it, and I just went for it. I knew, and I just tried to make a good throw and tried getting him.
What is the deal with this ball club? You're now 8-0 on the road. It's tremendous. You almost go home to a home field disadvantage.
I don't know. I've been telling everybody, I don't know if we get a little too hyped up or a little too pumped up at home. The excitement of the stadium and the crowd, and we just need to figure out some way to bring it down a notch and relax and play our game.
All right, excellent job, Andy. We'll be back with some more World Series coverage. In fact, we're going to go over to Chip Carey right now. Chip?
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. What a way to close out this great ballpark, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The last game here, just like the last game last year, a 1-0 decision. The only difference, the Braves lose it today to the Yankees. We'll continue our coverage of the 1996 World Series from Atlanta right after this timeout. Streets of New York are rocking tonight. 1-0. The Yankees win the game. They lead the World Series 3-2, with the next 2 games coming up this weekend, if necessary, at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The big key so far has been the New York Yankees bullpen. John Wetland has anchored that group all year long. He got the save today, and he's standing by with Steve Lyons.
All right, Chip, thanks a lot. John Wetland, you've been in a Yankee uniform for a few years now. I got to think this is the biggest save of your career.
Most definitely. Obviously coming in such a big game in the World Series, and the fact that it was a real tough one, too. A guy on third and one out, put the pressure on.
Polonio comes up, hits the ball in the gap. Looked like the ball took off on O'Neill a little bit. Were you afraid that he might not make that play?
I was afraid when I let go of the ball. I knew that I didn't really put the juice on it that I wanted to, and it kind of came out funny. And, I was looking for him to hit the ball in the air. He was behind on all the fastballs, and I didn't want to make a mistake with the breaking pitch. And he hit it in the air all right, and almost hit it in the air a little too good.
All right, nice job, John. Chip, let's go back to you.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. It's been 90 years since the road teams have won the first 5 games of the World Series. It's happened again in 1996, and we'll see if the Yankees can clinch it starting Saturday night in New York. The Yankees lead the World Series 3-2. Luis Polonia and the Braves denied tonight. We'll have more in a moment. Well, the New York Yankees this year were the best team in one-run decisions in Major League Baseball. The Yankees were 25-16 in one-run games. They win a thriller 1-0 here in Atlanta, the final game ever played at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Next year, of course, they'll move across the street into beautiful new Olympic Stadium, which will, of course, be called Ted Turner Park. Former Yankee Dave Winfield is standing by with me as well tonight. Dave, this has to be a huge win, not only for the Yankee Ball Club, but the city of New York as well. They've waited a long time to get back to the series. Now they're in a position to win it for the first time since '78.
Oh, man, this is a big, big game for the Yankees. You know, once again, at the top of the show, remember I said that the Atlanta Braves were just doing little things that were leaving the door open for the Yankees to take advantage of it. Think back to the fourth. Fly ball to the outfield, miscommunication between Grissom and Dye over in right field. The ball rolled up Grissom's arm for an error. Yankees capitalized on it, and that was all the scoring of the day.
Yeah, no question about it, Dave. Little mistakes mean an awful lot in the World Series. John Smoltz and Andy Pettitte, both of them pitched tremendous ball games. It's somewhat ironic. Last year, the Braves win the World Series with a solo home run from David Justice, a 1-0 decision. They lose the last game in this ballpark, 1-0, and now have to go to New York and knock off the New York Yankees in a very hostile environment.
Well, as you said, you mentioned earlier, this is the first time since in 90 years that to start a series that they have won 5 road games. And if, in fact, Atlanta is going to try to win this thing, they're going to have to set a new record and make it 6 or 7 road wins.
Yeah, for the Braves, though, they feel very confident. They'll have Greg Maddux going in Game 6 Saturday. He pitched a masterpiece up in New York. Really was impressive at Yankee Stadium. Game 7, if necessary, the Braves will have Tom Glavine going. The Yankees in Game 6 will have Jimmy Key and then David Cone lying back for a potential Game 7 in New York. So great pitching matchups at the Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. How important, Dave, was the loss for the Braves last night? You can't help but wonder, with Mark Wohlers blowing the save opportunity for the Braves, that emotionally this Atlanta team, despite the close game tonight, they had to be a little bit fragile coming into this game tonight here in Atlanta.
Well, actually, I think they were pretty confident. I mean, they came off a St. Louis series where their back was against the wall. They needed to win the last 3 games, and that's exactly what they did. I still feel they have that confidence, but once again, they're going to go to a hostile environment, and in New York, the first time, the crowd was unable to get into the game. That 10th man never set foot on the field. I guarantee you, well, actually there were 10 or 11 additional men on the field, but when it comes down to this game, they're going to be loud and raucous, and it's going to be something.
And the Braves offense has to find its way, too. They haven't scored a run now in 15 innings, I should say, in the World Series. You know they'll need to score some runs, obviously, because the Yankees will be jacked up at Yankee Stadium starting Saturday night in the Bronx. Great pitching matchup for Game 6 in New York. The Braves have to win to stay alive. They have the paint master, Greg Maddux, on the hill. 3-1, 123 his postseason mark. Jimmy Key will pitch for the Yankees. We'll have it for you beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. It's Game 6 of the World Series. If the Yankees win, they'll be the world champions. An unearned run, the difference tonight, and it was costly. The New York Yankees have won 3 in a row. They lead the World Series 3-2. For our entire crew, this is Chip Terry. We'll see you in New York Saturday. So long, everybody.
Tomorrow, it's